What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And today I have something really special planned. I have a special guest here today. This is my buddy TJ's car. He's owned this car for about just as long, if not longer, than I have owned my car. We actually met because of these two cars behind me. This is in fact a true set of twins. We got the BRZ to my right, your left, and an Toyota 86 to my left. He will be getting a parent oil cooler, radium catch can, Grimspeed electronic boost controller, and we will also be doing the timing cover reseal on this car. Probably going to turn it into a little bit of a build series, as there is a lot we got to do on this thing. It has been a long time coming for him, because I believe ever since he got the car, much like myself, we have had plans of turbocharging these cars. Now what's really cool here is he's getting the HKS turbo kit, and I will be installing that full-blown motorsports kit on my car. However, mine will be a little bit more of a pieced together kit rather than his, which is all in two nice boxes ready to go. So fortunately that's the smart way to go, but that's too easy for me. I can't do that to myself. I gotta make things difficult. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this, and we're gonna make a little build series out of it. It'd be really cool to compare the two vehicles like we did in a previous video where he had an unequal length exhaust and I had equal length. Not sure, if you haven't checked that out, give it a look. We got a lot of stuff to do, so let's get this underway and get things going. Alright, TJ, this is gonna be it. Give one last good look at how this looks, because it is all coming apart. Alright, so first order of business here. We've got to take off this front bumper. We're gonna do the timing cover reseal first thing. So that way, if anything extra falls down, gets into the oil pan, we'll be able to see that later on, because we're going to be removing and swapping out the oil pan anyways, since TJ got an aftermarket oil pan. So we're going to go ahead and remove the timing cover, reseal that, get that sorted and out of the way for him. So for tonight, probably going to work on pulling everything apart. Got to get the front bumper off, airbox has to come off. I'm going to go ahead and pull the radiator, fans, and this cross member here out, as well as the overflow. And that'll pretty much give me all the room I should need to get to the timing cover to remove that. So let's get started, shall we? So we're going to talk about the oil leaks that are very common on the timing covers passenger side on these. I want to touch on this because it's actually a common thing. Many people back in the day, when everyone was bringing them to the dealerships when they were still under warranty to have this job done under warranty, I believe a lot of it may have been misdiagnosed. And the reason for that is, if you look really closely, I'm going to use this one for example. Now his may very well be leaking down there because it's definitely nice and wet. But if you look really closely, here's the oil fill cap, there's the oil filter. When you remove this oil filter, all the oil drains down here. Well, not necessarily all of it, but oftentimes when they lift this up, oil will fill the top of this and sit up there, and then when you put the new one on, it'll drip all the way down. Which is why everything below this ridge you see here is dark, stained with oil and dirt. I'm going to go ahead and do the timing cover on this one anyway, because he's right at 100-some thousand miles. So we're gonna do it while we're in here. Hopefully we won't have to worry about it again. Welcome back, everyone. Well, I guess not welcome back. I'm gonna welcome myself back. It's been about a week since I started on this. I did do some work on it during the week. I did actually have to end up removing the brackets for the radiator so that we could ship the radiator bracket back to fit my impact gun in here to get the timing or the crank pulley off. But that is off. Timing cover's all ready to be removed. I do have to I got 27 12mm bolts all around this thing, and there's 5 10mm bolts on this. So many of y'all are probably gonna laugh at me for this, but if you want to put the bolts back in exactly where they come out, this is the only way that I can think of, and probably the most efficient way of doing it in the cleanest manner. What I'm going to do is actually take a drill bit and this nice box I have here, and I'm going to drill holes where the bolts go. Now I need 27 holes and 5 extra for the smaller holes. So let's do this. All right, and ta-da! So what I did was I pulled up the diagram of the motor with the bolts right here, and I just kind of drilled holes where roughly the bolts all go. So this will be a nice little thing, nice little guide to have. So as soon as I'm done with the bolts, I'll just right into the hole. That took all of like 30 seconds to make. It's easy. Alright, you guys, as you can see, we got all the bolts out of the timing cover. There are 27 12mm around the outside edge, and there's 5 10mm starting here. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are all 10mm. There are 5 of those, making for a total of 32 bolts total. Again, that's 27 12mm and 5 10mm. I put them into the box like this. I drilled holes through it so I could shove the bolts in so I know exactly where they go. Just in case any of them are different sizes, which the 4 on the corners were much longer than the ones along the top and the bottom. So as you can see, I got those sticking up a little bit higher. And same thing with the 10mm. The 2 on the ends were a lot higher than the 3 in the middle. So I got this set up so that when I'm ready to put it all back together, all these bolts can go right back where they came out. So now what we gotta do is pry this off. There are a couple pry points. It looks like there's one right here, one right here, one right here along the top, and there will be a couple on the bottom. I can't even see the bottom, but I'm gonna start with these on the top and slowly work my way across and back and see if I can spread the top apart, and then we'll work our way to the bottom. All right, so if you read the factory manual, it'll say to use a flathead screwdriver. I just so happen to have multiple size pry bars, so I'm gonna be using both. Just so I can get a little bit more distance with the pry bar for prying. So let's get to it. I do not want to break this line here. As you can see, that does move. So you just gotta be really careful with that. Do this one from the side. That's prying, that is moving. Alright guys, so we're here. As you can see, I got the timing cover off. Got all this crap to peel off. Ooh, that's really satisfying. So what I've seen, there's a couple videos online doing this, and a couple of them I've noticed, at least one in particular, what they did was they put the RTV not up here, but down here in this groove. That's not the proper way to do this. This groove is designed to provide a inner gap between the cover and the plate of the motor itself, to give it enough room for the RTV to ooze out and seal in here. You don't put the RTV in this groove here. You put the RTV on this groove up here and allow it to ooze out the top and ooze into this gap. You don't need much. You don't need too much. You don't want to do too much, or else you will end up with extra, and it'll go straight into the oil pan, which will be picked up by the oil pickup, and you'll spin rod bearings, which is why you hear so many horror stories from Subaru. So I got Permatex gray RTV that I'm going to be putting in here, and we're going to start with cleaning it up. Before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and change out the O-rings right here, here, and here. And then I also have the O-ring for the oil pickup. So that one there is this one right here, but it looks like this paper saw some chemical. So we don't have the part number for that one. But here's the part number for the other ones, should you need it. Alright, one more thing. I just removed the oil pump front main seal. They call it something different. I can't remember exactly what the term is. Be sure to leave it around the outer edge enough so that these holes are not covered. If you cover up those holes, you are going to have a bad time. Remember that. Do not cover up those two holes. Sorry guys, but you didn't get to see me put it on there all the way. But as you can see, there is a nice small bead of RTV across the top. Use Permatex Ultra Gray. I got all the bolts in there, snugged in. I went ahead and did the 10 millimeters down here first, right? The 10 millimeters through the middle. That way it gives it a nice firm centering position. And then I went ahead and did the 4 corners and followed by all the other ones. So now I'm going to go ahead and get to torquing them in the spec. These guys, the 10 millimeters, get 7 foot-pounds, and the 12 millimeters all get 18.4 foot-pounds. I'm just going to do it to 18. That should do it. Again, that's 18 foot-pounds across the 12 millimeters around the outside, and then 7.4 foot-pounds through the middle on the 10 millimeters. I don't have a torque wrench that'll go as low as 7, but I'm pretty sure I could guess 7 foot-pounds. As a matter of fact, they may be a little bit over 7 foot-pounds, but they'll be all right. So, unfortunately, I do not have a front main seal. I misread a message that thought we had one, and turns out we do not. So I have to wait till Saturday to get one of those, so I'm just going to leave that crank sprocket off. And in the meantime, I can start putting the pulleys back on and then I'll let it set up for a little bit, and maybe in the meantime I'll pull the under tray off. But that's gonna do it. Alright, I guess that's gonna do it for today. Unfortunately, the front main seal will not be here till Saturday, so we're gonna have to wait for that, which means the serpentine belt cannot go on until the crank pulley goes on, and that can't go on until the front main seal goes on. So kind of at a standstill with that, but in the meantime, that's it for today. That's how you put in the timing cover on this thing. Man, this bug is all over this camera. I gotta go inside. These bugs are getting freaking wild out here. They're gonna carry me away. That's about as in-depth as I can go on that. Tomorrow we start the turbo kit install. I gotta remove the headers, start pulling out the turbo stuff, taking a look at it. So that's gonna do it for tonight, guys. Alright. Now, as you can see, I installed it with my thumbs. A lot of pressure. It wasn't that easy. Might be easier to use like a 1/4 inch extension and just give it a little bit of a tap around the outer edge. A little bit here and there at a time, you know. That way I don't push it in all the way, because if you push it in all the way, there's 2 little grooves down in the back. And you don't want to cover those up. Those have to stay open for the oil feed. But yeah, that's going to do it for that, guys. Let's get this spring pulley installed. So, make sure that's in all the way. Whew. There's that. Do not mess this up, y'all. I made this mistake on my Z doing my timing belt. It's a long story. But make sure that this dowel fits into this little hole right here. Do not tighten it down with the belt on the crank pulley. It is not recommended. Is that? And good little check to do before you tighten it down is make sure the pulley lines up with the other ones.